Fair use. This is a book of reflections by AA members for AA members. Daily Reflections, August 2nd. We become willing. At the moment, we are trying to put our lives in order, but this is not an end in itself. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 77. How easily I can become misdirected in approaching the 8th step. I wish to be free, somehow transformed by my 6th and 7th step work. Now more than ever, I am vulnerable to my own self-interest and hidden agenda. I am careful to remember that self-satisfaction, which sometimes comes through the spoken forgiveness of those I have harmed, is not my true objective. I become willing to make amends, knowing that through this process I am mended and made fit to move forward, to know and desire God's will for me. Courage to Change, One Day at a Time in Al-Anon, August 2nd. My overwhelming desire for control becomes glaringly obvious when I am tempted to control my group. I decide that I know what is best for all of us, or that I am the only one who truly understands the traditions, or that I know what newcomers need to hear, and I alone must make sure they hear it. I may view this as finely developed sense of responsibility, but my attitudes and actions still amount to a form of dominance. The second tradition says, for our group purpose there is but one authority, a loving God, as he may express himself in our group conscious. Our leaders are but trusted servants, they do not govern. We strive to conduct our meetings as a fellowship of equals and to practice rotation of leadership. No single member has the right to take charge. When I insist upon having my way, I am tampering with the spiritual nature of Al-Anon as a whole. Just as my higher power guides me in my daily life, a power greater than myself is working within my group through the voices of its members. Today's reminder: I am only one voice in a thriving worldwide fellowship. When in doubt, I will defer to the wisdom of the group conscious. There is a quote from Alcoholism, the Family Disease. Any attempt to manage or direct is likely to have disastrous consequences for group harmony. Just for today, Daily Meditations for Recovering Addicts, August 2nd. Practicing honesty. When we feel trapped or pressured, it takes a great spiritual and emotional strength to be honest. Basic text, page 85. Many of us try to wiggle out of a difficult spot by being dishonest, only to have to humble ourselves later and tell the truth. Some of us twist our stories as a matter of course, even when we could just as easily tell the plain truth. Every time we try to avoid being honest, it backfires on us. Honesty may be uncomfortable, but the trouble we have to endure when we are dishonest is usually far worse than the discomfort of telling the truth. Honesty is one of the fundamental principles of recovery. We apply this principle right from the beginning of our recovery when we finally admit our powerlessness and unmanageability. We continue to apply the principle of honesty each time we are faced with the option of either living in fantasy or living life on its own terms. Learning to be honest isn't always easy, especially after the covering up and deception so many of us practice in our addiction. Our voices may shake as we test our newfound honesty, but before long, the sound of the truth coming from our own mouths settles any doubts. Honesty feels good. It's easier living the truth than living a lie. Just for today, I will honestly embrace life with all its pressures and demands. I will practice honesty even when it is awkward to do so. Honesty will help, not hurt, my efforts to live clean and recover. Today, Emotions Anonymous, August 2nd. Reflection for today. Too many occasions flit by without my recognizing the kindness and good done for me. It seems as if my life consists of mundane, repetitious routines of the day before. Nothing spectacular seems to be happening, nothing for which to be thankful. Yet my yesterday was a miracle. I was able to take care of my responsibilities with no complications. Everything happened as it should. That in itself would elicit thankfulness on the part of those who have adversities to overcome, but I take it for granted and credit myself with the power to control my own life and the ability to succeed where I so desire. That is not true because my higher power is the source of my success. My higher power uses ordinary people to help in making my life as smooth and problem-free as it usually is. Meditation for today. Help me to be more appreciative and grateful for the life which has been given to me. Today I will remember, I give thanks for each and everything. Strengthening my recovery. Meditations for adult children of alcoholics' dysfunctional families. August 2nd. Disassociation. Another form of not being in the body involves disassociation or leaving the body. BRB, page 269. As kids, we may have gotten into big trouble when we showed how we felt. So many of us taught our little faces and voices and bodies not to show emotion. We may have eventually learned to disconnect from our feelings even before they surfaced. We knew we had to live physically in our bodies, but we could refuse to listen to what our bodies were trying to tell us. Some of us became so dissociated that we even looked at others to know when to smile or frown. We had lost our identities in the process. When we found ACA, we heard disassociation described as a disconnection from our feelings, thoughts, body needs, and other parts of ourselves. We also learned that childhood trauma was the cause. At meetings, when we heard others say they felt numb, empty, or dead inside, we may have identified because of our own trauma and disconnect. We heard that change is possible, but it requires work. When we make the commitment to ourselves, our feelings start to show up. They may be strong and come in large quantities. It's scary, but we have the support of other ACAs. Working the program and learning to trust in a higher power helps us restore our true selves. We accept our feelings and become who we were meant to be. The affirmation reads, on this day I will pause, find a quiet place to sit and breathe. Whenever I feel disconnected from myself, I will maintain conscious contact with my higher power and myself. Please share, subscribe, like, and most of all, be the you that you are created to be. To remember that recovery is possible and that you are not alone, one day at a time.